back to Happy Bake Day, where every day is a happy bake day. I hope your spicy baked falafel from last week turned out spicy and delicious. If you missed that episode, of course, you can check it out right here. It is officially May, which means it is a very, very special month. This is the month of Disney baking. Now, to kick off Disney Baking Month, I thought it would be perfect reason to celebrate Star Wars Day today. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I have here the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Cookbook. So I have pulled a really awesome recipe to make Mustafarian lava buns that we will be making today, and it's going to be perfect. Now this is going to be made in two different parts. Part 1 is the buns themselves, and part 2 is the crackle topping that's gonna go over the buns. Now, for the first part, in order to make our buns, you're going to need the following ingredients. 1.5 cups of whole milk, 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter melted, 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 package of instant dry yeast, red gel food coloring, and 3 cups of bread flour plus a little bit more for dusting. Now for today's recipe, I did pull out my stand mixer with the dough hook attachment. If you don't have a stand mixer, that's completely okay. You can knead the dough by hand, but I do find that using the stand mixer does make this a little bit easier. Now for this first part, what we're going to do is heat the milk over the stove, and you want to heat it till it's warm, about 100 to 110 degrees. But what you want to do is double check your yeast packet and double check what temperature it recommends using. So mine on the back says between 100 and 110 degrees, and that means that when the milk is introduced with the yeast will get perfectly activated and it'll be great. Once your milk has been warmed, what you will do is then put it into the bowl of your stand mixer, and then you're going to add your yeast and sugar. Mix everything together and let it sit until the yeast gets nice and frothy and bubbly. Our yeast has been activated and it's ready to go. The next step is to add a little bit of your flour, your butter, your salt, and your red food coloring, and you're gonna start mixing it in your stand mixer. You're gonna gradually add the rest of your flour until everything's been added and well combined. After that, you're going to lightly flour your countertop surface and turn your dough out onto the counter and start kneading it until it becomes slightly sticky to the touch, but not to where it's stuck to your fingertips. Our lava bun dough is done and ready. I did knead mine for a little bit longer than I usually do, just to make sure that all of the flour is fully incorporated and it's got this nice, smooth, slightly tacky texture, and it's going to be perfect. As you can see, my red food coloring turned it more of a dark pink than a red, but that's okay. I actually kind of like it, so we're gonna keep it this nice red color, this pinkish red color. Our next step is to pull out a clean bowl. You're going to add your dough into the bowl and cover it with a clean towel, and you're going to let it sit and rise for about an hour or until your dough has doubled in size. So our 1 hour timer is up, and you can see that our dough has absolutely doubled in size here. It looks great and it smells fabulous. Our next step is to turn our dough out onto our countertop, and you're going to divide it into 12 equal portions. I do have here a pastry scraper cutter that's going to help me do that. If you don't have one, that's completely fine. Once you divide your dough into 12 equal portions, you're going to roll them the best that you can into a ball, and then you're going to put it on a tray that's been lined with either a silicone mat or parchment paper. Once all of your little mini lava buns have been placed on your tray, you're going to cover it once more with your towel and set it aside. Then we'll be ready to make our topping. Our dough is set aside and our buns are going to rise one more time. While that's happening, we are going to be making our black crusty lava topping. You're going to need the following ingredients: 1 cup of rice flour, 1 teaspoon of dry yeast, 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, 3/4 cup of warm water, black gel food coloring, and half a teaspoon of salt. Now, just like when we were preparing our dough, make sure that your warm water is the right temperature for your yeast. Not too hot, not too cold. It needs to be right in that sweet spot. So be sure to check the back of your yeast packet to make sure that your temperature is correct. What you're going to do next is, once your water is the right temperature, you're going to add all of your ingredients together into a medium mixing bowl, and you're going to whisk it well together. Once everything's mixed, you're going to actually put it aside and you're going to let it sit for 20 minutes. So our lava buns are finally ready for topping. I have here a basting brush as well as a spoon. What we're going to do is we're going to generously coat each of the buns with the black topping using your basting brush. You want to try to cover the entire top of your buns, the sides, the tops, as well as you can. Be generous with all of this. After that, put your tray aside, and these are going to rise for 20 more minutes. Do not cover them. It will get all over your towel. This time they're going to rise uncovered. And while they're rising one more time, we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. Our second 20-minute timer has finally gone off and our oven has finished preheating to 400 degrees. The next step is to bake these Mustafarian lava buns in our oven. You're going to bake them for about 15 or 20 minutes or until the top is nice and crusty and you can see each bun is kind of puffed up in size. After that, remove your tray from the oven and then you can put your buns on a cooling rack to finish cooling down. Okay, so our lava buns are out of the oven and they are incredible. Can we just admire for a minute this gorgeous crackle on the top, revealing the lava underneath? It's perfect. It's just like we're on Mustafar. Thank you so much for joining me today while we made our Mustafarian lava buns, and I hope you're having a fantastic Star Wars day. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you had fun baking with me today. I appreciate each and every subscriber as you join me on this journey from banker to baker. You can also visit our website or follow us on social media for this and all of our other fun recipes. Until next time, I hope you have a very happy bake day and may the 4th be with you.